Hey there, welcome back to Creepy Encounters. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the videos. Night shift workers of Reddit, what is the scariest / creepiest / most unbelievable thing you have seen on the job? Used to work as a corrections officer. Have plenty of really creepy stuff that happened over those 5 years, but by far this is my favorite incident. I was assigned to the single-man cells wing of the jail, which is basically solitary confinement for inmates who were being punished for breaking rules in the jail. So around 5 a.m. medical calls for all inmates that need medication to be escorted from my wing to medical to receive their meds. I pull out 2 guys, restrain them and instruct them to face the wall and await the guard who will be escorting them. As the 3 of us are there, I begin to hear a woman crying. I was new to that jail and didn't think anything of it, and as I'm just listening to this woman cry, I slowly start to realize a few things. There are no females in this wing, nor in any wing where men are. The female wing is down the hall, sealed tight with about 3 doors in between the hall and the actual wing. There is only about 2 other males in the wing who are asleep aside from us 3. I look up at the inmates and notice they have this kind of smile on their face as they were watching me realize what was going on, and I asked them, "Do you guys hear that?" One of the inmates responds, "Almost every night, boss. I've worked in different nursing homes as an aide, while I'm finishing school. I've had call lights turn themselves on in rooms where there aren't any residents. The creepy part is that you have to actually go into the dark, creepy room to turn the call light off." Edit, a letter. I used to work the 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. shift at a pasta plant when I was a teenager. For coffee breaks and lunch we'd go out front of the building. Some people would smoke. We'd all basically look at the scenery, which included some roads down below. The place was at the top of a hill. One night we saw a car flying down the street below, at least 100 km in a 60. And it ran all 3 red lights that were within view. One guy called it out and we figured the driver was probably asleep at the wheel. Then maybe 2 or 3 minutes later we saw another car doing the same thing, except this time it wasn't the only car. There was another car coming toward it and another going across one of the fucking 4 ways. All of these cars were speeding, and none of them slowing, and somehow they avoided each other but just barely. That was it, but it was the weirdest shit I'd seen. I worked the mid-shift, 1500 to 0000, at my warehouse. We have a ghost that we like to call Dr. Phil. We have a television in the break room that we watch Dr. Phil reruns on when we're not doing anything. If we switch the TV to another channel, i.e. channel 3, the TV will go static and then back to Dr. Phil, but still on channel 3. The actual channel for Dr. Phil is 5. No matter what channel you switch it to, it always goes static and back to Dr. Phil. It doesn't seem to be a violent one if we watch his show, but other than that, no problems. I work the audit shift at my hotel. 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., one night during the winter I got a call from a room about screaming from the floor below them. Our hotel is only 6 stories high. They were on the 5th floor, so that means the room they were complaining about was on the 4th floor because it's set up as ground floor 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. I said I would check it out for them, and I was kind of reluctant because as an audit, I'm the only worker in the whole building at night. Before I went up though, I looked in the system to see if there was any rooms near them so that I could narrow it down. Here's the creepy part for me. It was in the winter, so there wasn't many people in the building. In fact, there wasn't any rooms near the one of the 5th floor, and there wasn't a single guest staying on the 4th. I went up and investigated, but the room directly under the other guest's door was wide open, which should be impossible being it uses a key card system. Thinking it was just left open by housekeeping, I looked in there to see if anyone was in there and closed the door. I told the guests from the 5th floor that it must have just been some kids running down the hall. An hour later they said they heard screaming again and banging below them. I went up there and the door was open again. At this point it was a security concern because someone has access to a room they shouldn't have. So I decided to watch the security footage from the 4th floor. In the video, the door clearly opens. Most freaky thing I have ever seen. I wrote a ticket to maintenance to check the door in the morning and they said it was fine. I showed the video to my boss and he was freaked out too. We ended moving the guests to the other side of the building because they were spooked. To add on to this, when maintenance went in there to check the door before they opened it, they heard banging in the room. When they came in, the screen door to the balcony was wide open. I don't really believe in paranormal stuff, but no one could explain what happened, and from then on I have been really hesitant at night to go up to the 4th floor on my rounds. My manger ended up filing an incident report just to have on the records. Worked 10 p.m. to 9 a.m. in a data center. Recently heard weird music and a woman creepily saying, "Are you there? Hello, are you there?" over the PA system for 15 minutes. I confirmed with security that the two of us were the only ones in the building. I used to work at a gas station for third shift. One night a customer I had never seen before had come in and asked to use the phone. I was already behind and let him use the phone despite being told not to. He told me he was calling a cab because his ride wasn't coming for him anymore and he didn't want to walk the 30 miles home. Cue giving stranger phone. He called the cops. He told the cops that he was schizophrenic and was hearing voices. He stated that the voices were telling him to kill people and he was a danger to himself and others. He handed me back the phone and sat outside. I locked the door on him and within 5 minutes, 3 cop cars, 2 fire trucks, and 1 ambulance later, they took him away. I don't need to deal with that shit being the only one on shift at 3 a.m. As a bartender, fucking creepy men who do not have boundaries and can't comprehend a no, girl's body language, being ignored, etc. Twice I've seen a guy walk out and try to follow a girl to their car and I have to run out and stop them by saying something about their bill. I've kicked out numerous grown fucking men for being so creepy. I'm 23 years old, why do I have to talk to a 40 to 50 year old about to behave and treat a person? Used to work overnights doing phone support. Let me just say that the area in general we worked at has always had a weird vibe to it. Stuff that doesn't seem exactly out of place, but just abnormal in a way that's difficult to explain. To make matters worse, there's a cemetery about a mile up the road, and it can kind of get in your head when you're thinking about it. Off the top of my head I've experienced weird lights in the sky. Not your typical that might be an airplane, but as in coworkers and I would be outside and see a light off in the distance hovering. It would move up vertically, make a sudden and quick horizontal downward slope, go up vertically again, and take off. Strange lights in the building across the street from us. Big building, not sure how many stories but very tall. Was abandoned up until this year for maybe 4 years or so. Occasionally lights would come on, go off, come on again. You could see what looked like people roaming around with flashlights. Would hear singing late at night outside, all throughout the year. Definitely a woman's voice, couldn't make out what was being sang, could never find out where it was coming from. Coworker doppelgangers. Stones would be thrown at us from seemingly nowhere. There is like a very very small little pond next to the building, surrounded entirely by fence and high grass. Sometimes it sounded like something massive had jumped inside of it, followed by heavy sounding steps. Years ago, when I still worked 911 EMS. 2 a.m., my partner and I are sitting on the south side of town, which is not a great part, getting free Wi-Fi from the restaurant we were parked at, and the tones drop for police and EMS at a seedy motel about a mile down the road. No info other than female screams and an address. We roll into the parking lot and kill the lights, waiting for La to arrive and clear the scene before we go in. Maybe 10 seconds after putting the truck in park, we see a woman coming running out of a motel room with a towel wrapped around her. As she's making her way down the stairs, a guy comes running after her with a towel, but in more of an "I'm sorry. Run than a get back here bitch" style, if that makes sense. Cops pull in right as she's making her way to a car across the parking lot and he's yelling wait, and give us the all clear to begin care. Turns out they were both having an affair, and decided to try some anal beads. Instead of pulling them out slowly and gently, he, in her words, ripped them out like I'm a fucking chainsaw or something. Yeah. Terrible night, for the both of us. Her more than myself. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe for more real life creepy encounters around the world. See you in the next video. Bye.